ecosystem, a program on that, and maybe a DApp walkthrough at the end. So that's the my entire agenda. So let me start with the blockchain itself. We all know that blockchain, the concept of blockchain was introduced by Bitcoin, which was a financial system, right? It was at the time, at the time of a financial crisis, someone or some group known as Satoshi Nakamoto introduced a financial platform, a new way of financial platform, because at that time you already had centralized ecosystems, banks, that was a different kind of financial trading. But Bitcoin introduced a decentralized way. So it kind of give the responsibility and the freedom to the people back. That was the main idea behind it. And at that time, whenever you do a transaction, like if you have rupees, that's our centralized ecosystem, right? Like our rupees or cash, it is governed and like guaranteed by Reserve Bank of India or like other banks. So we had to have a trustless ecosystem which needed to give people a trust, making sure that whenever I do a transaction or whenever I do an exchange of value, it should be correctly monitored, it should be correctly traceable, and it should be correctly entered, and it should not be modified also. So that's where the technology of blockchain, a distributed immutable ledger technology, was introduced, and this was the backbone of blockchain. So blockchain, Bitcoin. Yeah. So basically, it's what is blockchain? It's a network of decentralized peer-to-peer computers connected together, and anyone with a basic computer and an internet will be able to access this ecosystem. It's shared and it has a consensus. Whenever you want to write or change something in the database, it's literally a database. It's a peer-to-peer decentralized distributed database. And whenever you want to change something on the ecosystem, you need to have the consensus of the entire participants. And yeah, obviously the initial blockchains were started as a public ecosystem. So whenever you use it, in my perspective, when you use this blockchain technology, is that if you want immutable storage, you want to store something and you want to make sure that is not changed without the permission of the community, then you can use blockchain. You want traceability, like whenever once you have stored something, you want to access it forever, and accessibility, like everyone should be able to access. And most of the time, this is found in a multi-party ecosystem. So let's get on with the programmability aspect. This is a simple blockchain. And when blockchain was introduced at the beginning, it was only for the financial ecosystem. So you can send Bitcoin from one account to another account. Which was disruptive at that time, and even now we can all see currently Bitcoin is valued at around, like it's fluctuating, but around 99K in USD, and yeah, it's very valuable currency. But we didn't had any freedom on working with anything else. Like people like Vitalik, who is the founder of the one of the most used programmer blockchain called Ethereum, thought that we should have customizability. Ethereum is a huge, Bitcoin is a huge thing. It's a financial application. It's a very good thing. But in the ecosystem, we should have customizability. Anyone that needs a blockchain should be able to customize, write program, design their own business use case, and use that. And due to that thought process, people were able to come up with something called a smart contract. It's a programming, it's a way in which we program blockchain. And currently, as of now, we have the capability of conditionally, it's the simplest explanation, conditionally writing and conditionally reading. Most of the people in this ecosystem will say there are much more than to that onto the smart contract algorithm. But if you look at the bare bone, or like we ground ourselves into the truth, then it's basically you can conditionally write and conditionally read data from the blockchain ecosystem. So that's where the programmability of the blockchain was established. But where did all this begin? So as I was mentioning, Bitcoin introduced, and around after that, around 2 or 3 years after that, Vitalik, or a young teenager at that time, came up with the idea of a general purpose blockchain, a single blockchain for the entire world. That was his concept, and that concept, with the help of his Kevin Wood and other parties, he made that into a reality. And that's what they called Ethereum. Currently, Ethereum is the foremost. It was first blockchain that introduced Ethereum, and currently it's a pioneer in the programmer blockchain ecosystem. But that doesn't mean others are not in the ecosystem. Like other kind of blockchain are not introduced in this ecosystem, because even when Bitcoin was introduced, people looked at the code of the blockchain and then they repurposed their own needs. But that's why Ethereum was introduced, because at that time, when Bitcoin was introduced, if you want to create your own blockchain, you had to have like expertise on like the blockchain ecosystem, and also very excellent knowledge on programming. And that's why many a little bit a very niche people was able to run their own blockchain, customize their own blockchain. And that's where the idea of program blockchain, like you don't need to run your own blockchain. If you want to build on blockchain, you can write your program and you just run on that. But along the line, there came a lot of other blockchain technologies also. So these are the some of them. Polygon, this one is known as Polygon. So Polygon was an Indian company. They started from India, and they are now currently one of the pioneers of the Ethereum ecosystem. We have Base, Optimism, Tron, Genos, Binance Smart Chain, and yeah, like list goes on. As of now, program blockchain list, like it varies from 200 to 250. There are that many blockchains, but that doesn't really mean everything is used by every community. Each has their own famous moments, and each has their own community. But overall, Ethereum leads the programmer blockchain ecosystem. And that's one of the reasons whenever we are developing in blockchain technology, whenever we want to bring in this thing, build on blockchain, we most of the time people choose Ethereum or a technology, or like some kind of variant of that particular technology itself. So let's take a look into how we can program a blockchain. So program a blockchain. First thing, you choose a blockchain. We'll come to that. Obviously, we are going to, for this exercise, for this session, we are going to build on Ethereum ecosystem. So once you choose a blockchain, like it's not only Ethereum, there are other blockchain out there. Solana, it's kind of currently in the hype. But it's more leaned towards the centralized nature of this ecosystem. Ethereum is kind of like in the middle. It has its pros and cons, but it's what we call a decentralized programming blockchain. And once you have chosen your blockchain, you program. You pick up your business use case, or if you pick up your use case idea, convert that into logic, then you program that. And the programs on the blockchains are generally called smart contracts. That name also originated from the Ethereum ecosystem. Once you have written a program, like you basically find a developer or you learn it yourself and do the programming. Once you have done with the program, you test the program extensively, because the nature of the blockchain, once you write something onto the chain, onto the blockchain, you can't change it. So imagine you like in a normal ecosystem, imagine you have a program, you made a mistake, you can correct it. But in blockchain ecosystem, you can correct it, but you can have to write it again, and then that's an entirely different program. So once you have programmed it, you have to test it through. Like people go through various ways in which they can test it. So one way to do is that we have auditing firms. Like whenever you develop a software, may that be the blockchain or may that be the real Web2 ecosystem, normal application development, you will be doing testing. So we already have many companies that are established. So people give them their contract for vetting. They will vet the contract. They will go through many test scenarios, many conditions, many known vulnerabilities that are currently in the ecosystem, and they'll check the program thoroughly. But there will be a cost for doing their service. The next thing that people do is that they test it themselves. They test it on the like the blockchain ecosystem. We have testing phases also, like test bed is also there. There, like the developers of Ethereum has provided with some test networks where we can test out our programs. So we can test out of there, or we can start a bug bounty program, like hackathons or like competitions, where you expose your smart contract for the public because it's done for the public, it's for the public, and you ask them to find errors and you reward them, obviously. And that's basically it. Once you have written your program, the next step, which is very important step because we are humans, so we always make some kind of mistakes. So testing a program is very critical. You have to make sure that the program you are writing for any blockchain, you have to test it extensively and make sure that any known bugs are not there. I mean, there is a possibility of bugs coming in, but you have to ensure that the already existing ones are not there. Then once that is done, you store that program onto the blockchain ecosystem. We call that process deployment. You'll see that, but you store that program onto the blockchain ecosystem. Now, that is in the blockchain. Now it's basically blockchain, as I mentioned, it's a storage, right? So now you have written how you can store the data onto the blockchain. The program is basically instructions on how to store data onto the blockchain and how you can retrieve that and maybe do something in between. So once you have written and stored this program, now using this program logic, you can store data onto the blockchain. But now you want to release this to your public, right? Your audience, your target customers. For that, you have to build a normal website. It can be a website, a desktop application, maybe a mobile application, a browser extension, or a Telegram mini application. Like whenever you build a normal application, right? You integrate that with the blockchain or the smart contract ecosystem. And that's how you program the blockchain and release that onto the public, like your target audience. So you simply choose a blockchain, you program like each blockchain will have their own programming methods and programmability and languages. So like based on that, we choose the blockchain, they will have their own pros and cons. That's how we choose the blockchain. Anyway, then you program the blockchain, you write your smart contract, that's what we call the program. Once you have written the smart contract, you test it extensively, and then you store it onto the blockchain ecosystem. And then you build an interface for people to access that. And it has to be very like in the current ecosystem, the problem with most of the UA is that it's like you have to go through multiple confirmations to do something. So if you can reduce that, that will be better for your audience. Now, tech stack. So whenever you build something, you always need to have the components, right? Whatever are you going to use for building stuff. So here, obviously, I want to start with the wallet or identity, right? If you are interacting with any platform, may that be a blockchain technology, may that be Facebook or Gmail, you need to have an identity. When you log into this Zoom or this meeting, you provided your identity, then only you are able to get into this ecosystem, right? This meeting. So such an identity also is needed in the Ethereum ecosystem. Blockchain is anonymous or we call it pseudo-anonymous because there is an identity, but it is not related to any KYC. Like if I create an identity on the Ethereum ecosystem, sorry, if I create an identity on the Ethereum ecosystem, so only basing on that, you won't be able to identify me. But I do have an identity in the ecosystem. Using that, I do activities on the Ethereum ecosystem. So first, we will familiarize ourselves with the identity, how we can work with that, and then we will look into the rest of the technological stack. Okay. So in Ethereum, we use something called wallets. You have like when you are working with banks, right? Like if you are working with SB or HDFC, you have a program that you can use to manage your accounts, right? So just like that, in Ethereum, we have something called wallet. So that is what I want to demonstrate you today and start with for the. Let me just create a new identity on my Chrome. Okay, so I just created a new one so that I can start freshly. So first thing first, how we can install and utilize our wallet. So MetaMask wallet is available both on PC and on your mobile, but we'll start with PC. You can try the mobile version. Yes. So you search for MetaMask, and you can go to metamask.io. And it's a browser extension. So based on which browser you're using, currently I'm using Chrome browser. You can install that onto this ecosystem, but it's okay. 1 second. Yeah, it's available for Chrome, Firefox, Brave, Edge, and Opera. Like any Chrome, basically, Firefox has their own engine. So any Chromium-based browsers like Chrome, Brave, Edge, Opera, all these things are Chromium-based. So any of these browser will be able to. Any other Chromium-based browsers will also be able to install MetaMask and Firefox. Like that's the only odd one out in the browser ecosystem right now, and you will be able to install that. And whenever you go to the site, it will automatically identify your browser and give you the link for downloading that particular thing. So if I like, you can download from the homepage or in the downloads. So if I click on install MetaMask Chrome, it will redirect me to the Chrome store. So that's where we install extensions for browsers, and particularly the Chrome browsers. And here you can say add to Chrome. So add extension. So it's a 21 MB file, and I think 20 or 28 MB file. Yeah, 21 MB. And based on our internet connectivity, it will take some time. Yeah. So once it's installed, just click on that box icon. This is the icon of MetaMask. And now we can start with building our application. Okay. So let's start it. And I say, I agree to MetaMask terms and use. You can read it out and understand all those things. Like one thing that I want to mention, like it's kind of like something related to privacy. One thing I want to mention about MetaMask is that MetaMask is something that is built by the Consensus ecosystem. Consensus is a company that is at large in the Ethereum ecosystem. They have built many tools. So MetaMask is something called light wallet. When you want to interact with the Ethereum ecosystem, what you do is that you are in a normal perspective, what you do is that you run an Ethereum node and then you connect with the Ethereum ecosystem, because the Ethereum ecosystem, or otherwise known as the Ethereum world computer, is a connection of computers. And these computers uses some sophisticated softwares to communicate or like interconnect with each other, thus forming the Ethereum world computer. And if you want to interact, with the Ethereum ecosystem, you need to run a node. But that is not really possible for normal people like us, like people that have you need to have a good requirement, good system spec to run the Ethereum ecosystem or Ethereum node. Like for example, you need to have at least minimum 1.5 terabyte of SSD or like hard disk, a good hard disk, and like the RAM you can have 18 GB or up to 16 GB, and the processor like the latest one of the latest series, like up from 13 to 15, that will be better, but the older version can be also used. But that spec is not easily accessible to most people. So in that case, what we use is wallets. These are something what we call light clients or light node, because whenever we use wallets, we are not installing a node, we are connecting to a node provided by the wallet provider. Yes. Was there any doubts? Okay, sorry. Okay, so here, whenever you use MetaMask, what you are going to do is, or what we do is that we connect to the consensus nodes that they provide, and you do the transaction via that. And the problem with that is like it's not a problem. They will record your IP. So whenever you use MetaMask, and if you are using their the consensus or like their service or their node running services are called Infura. If you are using that, they will record your IP. I'm just mentioning that as we go, like that they're in the terms and use. You should read that. Yeah. So let's say there are two options. We'll discuss about the import and existing wallet later. But for now, let's say create a new wallet. And again, you can go through. No, it's yeah. Like there is a question, Aarti Satya asked. So what is a consensus blockchain? So consensus is not a blockchain. It's a company. 1 second. It's a software company. They develop protocols and like tools and technologies for the Ethereum ecosystem. So this is the consensus ecosystem, and these are the guys that developed the MetaMask. And they have developed much more other services are there, which we will get to know as we progress through this session. Yeah, I mean, my internet is a little slow, that's why it's not loading up. They have a lot of products. So you can see MetaMask is one of their product, and we'll get to know other products as we go. Okay. Yes, let me just resume this. Okay, so we have this help us improve MetaMask and say, I agree. And here it will ask you for a valid password. You have to remember this whenever you are using the MetaMask. This valid password will be important. There are two type of password when you are working with MetaMask or any wallet for that matter. But anyway, if you are working with blockchain ecosystem, make sure that whenever you are using MetaMask, you need to remember this. So for this session, I'm going to use an easily remember password. That's why it's showing weak. But so this is a weak pass example for a weak password. Like if you are using this for actual purpose, it's always better to have a strong password like hi at 23. And yeah, so as you use special characters and multiple things, you can improve that. For this, like ease as access, I'll just simply go with this like a local, a very simple password. So again, you can have options to learn more about the wallet. So create a new wallet. So here you can see a very simple demo on what MetaMask is from the ecosystem, but you can watch that in your own time. For now, click the option My Wallet. Once I have gone through this once, I'll also show it once more. Anyway, secure My Wallet. Okay, so this is the second password related to your wallet. Wait, it's not showing the presentation. Is it? I'm getting queries from others saying that, like students, that you're not, they are not able to see the screen. Is it the same for everyone? Oh, okay. Sorry about that. Let me just. I think I shared the wrong thing. So let me just share that again. Yeah. So let's just start from the beginning again. Sorry about that. Okay. So to install MetaMask, we'll go to MetaMask. And as I mentioned before, it will detect. You can go to this location. I'll put that in the chat also. Great. Okay. So whenever you go to metamask.io, you are able to get the link for downloading MetaMask for your particular browser. So here it is Chrome. You can install it for Firefox or any. So hope you can see the screen right now. Okay. So then you can like get MetaMask, which will redirect me for Chrome Store. If you're on Firefox, it will redirect you to Firefox Store. So this is the place where you can install extensions for browsers. So we'll see how that looks. So click on Add to Chrome, Add extension. So basically, you go to metamask.io, and then you go in, you click on download or like install, and it will be redirecting to your appropriate browser store. And from there, you can add your extension to your browser. It's going to take a little bit of time. Yeah, it's done downloading. Okay, So this is the front screen. So how did we reach here? We went to metamask.io. And there we said download, like I already installed it. That's why it's not showing for me. And then we went to the Chrome store and installed MetaMask. Okay, here, as I mentioned before, MetaMask is built by a company called Consensus. And if we are using their providers or like using their nodes, Ethereum nodes, they will record your IP. I'm just saying it for your knowledge. And all these things are written there in the terms of use. So just make sure that you read these terms of use, because whenever you are using an application, we have a tendency to skip through that terms of use. Make sure that you read these for these kind of ecosystem, because you are if you are really going to get into this ecosystem, you will be working with real money, and these kind of things should be known to you when you are working with real. Okay, so I agree to MetaMask terms and condition. There are two options after that: create a new wallet or import an existing wallet. As of now, we don't really have an existing wallet, so we'll create a new one, and we'll see how this works later. To create a new wallet, and you can see these are the general terms and conditions and other terms and conditions from MetaMask. So you click on that and say agree. And there are two passwords associated with the wallet. So this is the first one. So this is a general, like, it's like when you are getting into your mobile phone, you have a password, right? And when you are using UPay, you have another password, right? So yeah. So to approve your transactions, there will be a password, and for getting into the application itself, you can set another password. So this is something like that. So this is the application or MetaMask password, and we have some other password for doing transactions or like doing any activity on the ecosystem. We'll talk about that. So just give a good password. So yeah, I'm just using a weak password for this session, but make sure that you have use a good password, like something like this. See, so something like this with a mix of words. I always prefer going with words, because like the space, capital letter, and numbers and all those things are good. And if you make sure that you have a good length, then it's hard for other people to find out your password or crack your password. Yeah, but for this exercise, I'm just going to go with a simple password, like something like this. Make sure you type the password safe both times, and click on I understand the MetaMask, and cannot record this password for me. So this is the another problem with this ecosystem. If you lose passwords on the blockchain ecosystem, you can't recover it, because these things are not being stored on anywhere else. It's only being stored on your computer. Okay, like the details regarding when you install MetaMask and you create an identity for you, the details regarding or the data regarding the identity will be only on your computer. No one else will be able to access that. Okay, so just make sure that you remember this password, or you have to remember the second password, like that we are going to talk about. Okay, so create a new wallet. So here there's a video. If you want, you can watch it on your time. So here there are two options. Remind me, like I need to confirm my or secure my wallet, and for that I need to take up another password. So let's say remind me later or like secure my wallet. So obviously you need to make sure that you secure your wallet. So click on that, and this is okay. Sorry about that. I'm getting some sounds from somewhere. Yeah, that's why. Yeah, sorry. So reveal the secret recovery phrase. So this is a 12-letter secret recovery phrase that can be used to retrieve your identity. If you remember this and you forgot the create password, that's okay. But if you don't remember this and you forget the create password, you won't be able to retrieve anything back. So make sure that you always remember, this is the primary recovery mechanism for your wallet or your identity. This will be used as the recovery mechanism. Whenever you create an identity, that identity will be created from these words. So whenever you want to recover them, you can use these words, 12-letter words, to recover those identities. So let's go through that once. So these things, like I'm showing you guys, but make sure that whenever you are building your own application or like building your own wallet or like configuring your own wallet, make sure that no one sees this, because if anyone has access to this, they will have access to your funds. Okay. So I'm just going to copy this because in the next page, they are going to ask you to confirm your seed phrase. They're making sure that you have noted it down somewhere, the best, whatever mechanism for you to store your password, that will be, you can use it for this. Okay. So these are some random words, 12 random words. We call it secret recovery phrase, or some people call it seed phrase. But anyway, let's move on. So yeah, it's going to ask you to fill up these three words in the position. And yeah, so what I do is that I'll just paste them in the address bar. And from there, I can just simply copy that onto here. So silent, odd, and after evidence comes depart. Once you have correctly filled it, like if you haven't correctly filled it, this confirm button won't come up. Once you have correctly filled them in the correct order also, the confirm button will enable. And you can click on that and it will say, congratulations, you are done with this. And the next thing is that obviously, whenever you are using extensions in Chrome, you can pin them in this particular section. You can see that. So if you click on this, this is the extension, like this is where all your extension will be residing. Go to the one saying MetaMask with this file, like it's a Fox logo, and click on the pin button. So now you can access it easily from here, right? So click next, say done. So now it is establishing connection to the Ethereum mainnet, and you have an identity over here. Okay. So if you click over here, you can see this is the same thing, right? This is a mini version and this is an expanded version, and you can work with that. So before moving on to like explaining about the identity, all those things, I'll show you this one more time. So yeah, what I'm going to do is that I already have the seed phrase, right? Yeah, I lost. Okay, so I didn't really store somewhere. So in that case, like you forgot to store your seed phrase before, but you want to retrieve it once again. What you can do is that okay. So I'm still audible, right? One second, I have some issues with audio. Let me just check once. Okay. Yeah, so let me just clear this out. Before that, so you forgot, like, see, I don't have my seed phrase on my copy paste because MetaMask clears the clipboard. I mean, that copy section, right? Like that space where we copy the details into, it clears that clipboard again and again. So what I can do is that I can go back into settings of MetaMask and retrieve my seed phrase as long as I know the wallet password. So you can click on these three dots over here and go to the settings. And there you can go to security and privacy. So once again, click on three dots, go to settings, security and privacy. And there you have under the security, secret recovery phrase, right? So you click on reveal secret recovery phrase. Yeah, so it's going to ask you some questions. It's a simple question. It's just ensuring that you're conscious that make sure that you are not revealing your secret recovery phrase to anyone, and MetaMask can't give you back in case you lost. So let's get started with their question. So first question is, if you lose your secret recovery phrase, MetaMask can get it back to you or can't help you? The answer is can't help you because this secret recovery phrase is encrypted using your wallet password and stored on your computer. So no one can get it, or like even MetaMask doesn't know what it is. So can't help you. Yeah, so continue. The next thing is that if anyone, even a support agent, like from MetaMask or concerns, anyone asks you for the secret recovery phrase, that means you are being scammed. Great. So next, you need to enter the valid password, like the password we created, right? That strong password, right? So for me, not actually strong. For me, I create a simple password. So you click on that. If you create it correctly, you will be given a pop-up, and there you have to press and hold to reveal your secret recovery phrase. And that's basically the secret recovery phrase. So I'll just copy that and I'll just paste on the other tab so that I can come back and get it back. Okay, so let's remove the extension and then we'll see how we can install it once again. And then you can try it yourself. And if you have any doubts, let me know. So very quickly, I'll just remove the extension. So remove from Chrome. Okay, very good. Okay, sorry. Okay, so let's say MetaMask and go to download or like the main page. If I go to download, if I to say install MetaMask for Chrome, there add to Chrome, add extension. And obviously it's going to take a little bit of time. So this video, I think this is the same video that we see at the time of that secret recovery phrase confirmation. Okay, great. So sometimes once you install MetaMask, there is no mechanism to recover your secret recovery key. That was a question, like how to recover the secret recovery key. Like you have to keep it safe. Once you lose it, there is no way you can retrieve it back. Okay, this is an extremely important piece of information whenever you are working with any blockchain technology. If you have the secret recovery phrase, you have to write it somewhere. If you lose it, you won't be able to access, because I think in Ethereum ecosystem, the highest holders of Ether, or like the native currency of Ethereum, we call it Ether. In case of Bitcoin, it's BTC. So Ether or ETH, that's a short form of that. The highest holder, one of them is Vitalik, but I forgot the name of the second highest holder, but he forgot his secret recovery phrase. And sorry. So he forgot his secret recovery phrase, or like his forgot to valid password, and he lost around 25 billion in Bitcoin. So you have no way to recover the secret recovery phrase. You have to keep it very safe. And yeah, also, if you have a question, yes, obviously you can put it in the chat, or you can just raise your hands in the chat, and we can ask the questions via mic also. Yes. Let's go back. So this is where the place. And before we started, we used the create new wallet option, right? So I agree to MetaMask option. Now I can use the import existing wallet. So yeah, obviously same things will be asked. So I agree. So here you have to enter your secret recovery phrase. You don't need to enter it one by one. You just need to copy your phrase and just paste it. It will paste on all 12 fields. So MetaMask uses a 12-word phrase as default, but it is capable of using like other wallets. There are other wallets which uses 15, 18, 21, or 24-word phrases. So if you're working with other wallets and you want to use those accounts on MetaMask, you can use that also. But by default, MetaMask uses a 12-word phrase. Okay. So confirm the secret recovery phrase. And this is a new password. This is not an old password we set. Each and every time you create or configure a MetaMask wallet, you're setting a new password. So create a password. So don't confuse it with the earlier one. This is a new one. So just create a new one and import wallet. And done. So this is basically your account address. We forgot to note that before. But if you repeat this exercise, just note your account address first. And when you restore it, you can see that you'll get the same thing. If you want, I can show that. But for now, go try yourself. And if you have any doubts, just ask in the chat or raise your hands and you can unmute and ask the question. Yeah, so just take 5 minutes and try it with yourself. And like the procedure when you are installing on mobile is almost the same. But yeah, so just try it with your computer and create your own identity on the blockchain ecosystem. Okay, everyone. I hope you were able to. Yeah, so I have it out. Yeah, they just you install MetaMask, right? You have any doubts on that? Okay, so let's move on to the next step. So before we do programming, so the next step will be we are going to do some programming using an online ID and connect to Ethereum network via MetaMask. So that's what we are going to do next. But before that, I just want to mention a little bit about the identity in the ecosystem itself. So yeah, okay. So one of my things. So this is once you have the seed, like as I mentioned, like the seed phrase is your way of recovering your accounts. This is the main accounts that you use. So whenever you interact with the Ethereum ecosystem, like whenever you're doing the transfer, right? Like for example, if I transfer my fund to my colleague's fund, my account number and his account number will be there in the transaction. Just like that, this is my identity or other account available in the ecosystem. So this I can create multiple identities. And all these identities will be derived from the seed phrase that we just kept safe, right? So I hope you guys kept it safe. So yeah. Yeah, just add an account wallet. You can create new account wallets. You can name it. This name is nothing related to blockchain. It's not being stored on the blockchain. This is just a nickname that you provide in the MetaMask. Okay, so I'll just leave it with the default one. Add account. Or you can add up to infinite funds, and all those things can be retrieved. All these identities, these are each and every one of them. Like I can create another one. Each and every one of them are identities that you can use in the ecosystem to work with the ecosystem. Okay, and all these identities can be retrieved if you have the seed phrase. And even the valid password, you can reset the valid password. Like for example, let's say if you click on this one and you can lock the MetaMask, that means it's a simple like lock your screen kind of thing. So, and if you provide your valid password, you will be able to unlock it, right? So, but in case you forgot your valid password and you remember your seed phrase, then you will be able to create a new valid password. I'm not going to do that, but I'm just saying that there is possible. But if you lose your seed phrase, there is no way we can retrieve it. Okay. So here you can see like this is our account. And when you are working with the blockchain ecosystem, as it's a community or like it's a network of people, and rather than having a centralized ecosystem, rather than having a server, because in case of server, even though it's a centralized ecosystem, the maintenance or like the cost for maintaining that server will be done or like will be bear by the company. Like if you're using Google, you don't need to run entire Google on your computer. They have a server, you're just accessing that and you're building. But in case of this, you are actually responsible for maintaining this ecosystem, and you are responsible for verifying the transactions. Like you send a transaction, you are verifying that, you are responsible for doing that. And there are selected people, like it's not like selected people. You can choose to be one of them, and those people gets to verify, and in return, they get a reward. Because unless otherwise, no one is going to do that. You guys know about torrent networks, right? Like we use it to download videos, and most of the time we only download it. No one is there, or most of the time people are not willing to be an uploader. So that's because there is no incentive, and that's why in Ethereum ecosystem we have Ether, which is a currency of Ethereum ecosystem, and it's also used for like rewarding people that verify a transaction, and also for fueling smart contract. Fueling smart contract means whenever you are executing a smart contract, right, or using smart contract logic to write data onto the Ethereum blockchain, you have to spend a small amount of fee. I mean, currently with Ethereum money, it is a huge amount for us, but yeah, comparatively it's a small amount. So when you want to write something, when you read something, there is no fee. But when you want to write something onto the Ethereum blockchain ecosystem, or generally any blockchain ecosystem, you have to pay a fee that will be given to the people that verify and vet the entire ecosystem, or keep that ecosystem stable. So here you can see I don't really have anything. This is my Ethereum balance. I have 0 ETH. So but now what we want to do next is we want to write a program and store it onto the blockchain. We call that smart contracts. For that, as I mentioned before, whenever you are storing something or writing something, even storing the smart contract itself, you need to pay a fee. So in Ethereum main network, yeah, you have various ways in which you can get real Ether. I'm not saying you should get it. I'm just showing you the path where you can get it. Like there are exchanges called Binance, KuCoin, where you can buy these exchanges. It's not a financial advice or anything like that. I'm saying that there are opportunities where you can get it. So you can either get it from centralized exchanges, which gives you Ether or like Bitcoin, any cryptocurrency in exchange for INR, or you can get it from a friend, or basically if you participate in the community, sometimes they will give it to you for free, not Ethereum, but other cryptocurrency, but then you can convert that into Ethereum. So those are the ways. But for this exercise, we are going to use something called test network, because in the Ethereum ecosystem, there are two different kind of networks. One is Ethereum mainnet, where the Ether has value and where we do the production deployment of our application. Okay, the final deployment of our application. For POCs or testing out, Ethereum community or the developers of the Ethereum ecosystem has provided with some test networks. So on the top over here, Ethereum mainnet, right? Click on that. It will give us a select network option. So on the top, click on Ethereum main network, select network. And just scroll down to the top. Scroll down to the top. Here you can see we are currently connected to mainnet. Sorry, not top. Scroll down to the bottom. There you have the option show test networks. Okay. So all of these other ones are Ethereum compatible blockchain networks that other people have built. We are not going to into that scope right now, but for now, just skip that. So Ethereum mainnet, scroll down and show test network, enable that button. Okay. Then scroll up. Sorry. Then scroll down again. And there you can see Sepolia. Sepolia is a test network for Ethereum, and anyone that is coming into the ecosystem want to test out their system without spending money, or like they don't really want to spend money at the beginning, right? So to test out their system, check errors, all those things, people use these test networks. So select that. So once again, how did I release that? I clicked on the Ethereum mainnet, scroll down, show test network, and then select Sepolia. Okay, now this drop down changed to Sepolia. Yeah, still we don't have any money. But what I'm going to do is that I am going to show you some sites. There are places in the ecosystem, we call them faucets, that give you test ether for testing purposes. They will give you a limited amount. There are many conditions over that, but yeah, we'll look into one of those and we'll try to request that. You will get it, but most of the time I won't get it because I have already requested it too many times. So they have restraints. So let's see if we can get it or not. Okay, so let's call for some faucets. Sepolia faucet. So there are some good ones and bad ones. So primarily these are the two ones I recommend. One from Google. So I'll just put their things in the address in the chat. So this is from Google. This is from Google. And this is maintained by the Ethereum developer community itself. But they have a lot of conditions for this. This is a sure way. Like this site gives you 100% gives you the things, but you need to do some things. Then only you will get the particular thing. Okay. Okay. So we'll start with this one. So here, like other than Sepolia, we also have another network called Holsky, but we can just look into Sepolia for now. Okay. Okay, so this is the Ethereum faucet. Make sure that you have selected Sepolia, and then you need to enter your wallet address or ENS name. ENS name is basically like you have DNS, right? The IP address of Google is 8.8.8, or you call it Google, and that's basically the DNS. And just like that for Ethereum address, like the Ethereum address looks like this. If we go to MetaMask, let's copy this. Let's say it's from. Yeah. So this is what we see as an Ethereum address. And if you have multiple ones, like I have multiple ones, right? So these are each one, like it has the same format, but the data is different. Anyway, and this is one of the reason why we have seed phrase as a recurring mechanism, because you can't really remember these things or all those things. So that's why we have used seed phrase as our point of contact. Okay, anyway, coming back. So whichever account you want to get. So I'll just use the first one because yeah, it's kind of like my practice. Anyway, copy this address. So you copy that, click on this, and you get to copy that. Go back to Ethereum Sepolia faucet by Google. Yeah, actually you need to sign in. So let me just open a tab where I have actually signed in. So Sepolia faucet. Yeah, so this one. So I have signed into Google. I have already requested Sepolia ETH from last week or those things. They will only give most of the time once or something like that. So what you can do is that you can paste it and click receive. Okay, so basically I got this message, but you will obviously get it and you can check your balance. Okay, just go there and just repeat what I have done. So basically this is what we're doing, right? Just click on this MetaMask, or you can go to the tab where MetaMask is. Wherever we are doing, sorry, wherever we are doing, just click on this and paste over here. Okay, and say receive 0.05. And yeah, all of my accounts I have exhausted asking from Google. I'll show you another method also, but for now we'll just use. So just make sure that you request this and take some time. If anyone having issues, let me know. There are scarcity in the ecosystem for test either, but I'll show you another method also. So just take 2 minutes and just request Ether to your account. Okay, yeah, I hope everyone got it. In case if you didn't get it, just send me a message, and I'll if you didn't get it, I'll send 2 or 3 people some test either, because I don't really have enough, but I'll send you 2 or 3 people, because most of you will get it, because the reason is that the conditions they have is basically one-time request, that is like most of the time one-time request, but I have got it up to 5 or 3 times, but not on the same day. So on the same day, you can only request once, and you can only request to one account. Okay, and they have IP filters. So basically, if you request from your IP, they will know that you are. If you request again, they will know that it is you, even if you provide another account. Okay, so it will be only once, but you will get 0.05 Sepolia. Okay, so let's talk about the next way. Where was it? Yeah. So this is the next faucet. This is a shortcut way where you can definitely get faucet either, but it is going to take you some time. So the reason is that there are 2 things you have to do you need to get it. So in Gitcoin password, in Ethereum ecosystem, even though you are anonymized, the ecosystem sometimes needs you to do some KYC procedure for getting this kind of ecosystem. And Gitcoin password is one way in which you can do that. So you click on Gitcoin password, and it's a see, as they have seen, access a world of Web3, unlock your best part. It's a passport onto the ecosystem. It's an identity to make sure that you are human. You don't need to reveal your. I mean, you will reveal some details about you, but it's a way in which they ensure that you are a human, because these faucets have limited amount of Ether in them. Even though it's a test network, there it's limited. So there are bots or automated programs that will always try to drain them. And these are ways in which they can stop that, ensure that only human or a developer is requesting for it. So click on Gitcoin password. This is, you can't really do it this right now, but just make sure that you know this, because this is the only place that you can get enough Ether for testing out all your applications. Okay. Yeah. So Sepolia faucet, you need 2 points in Gitcoin password. So go to Gitcoin password, use the option signing with Ethereum. So Metamask. There are other options. These are other wallet options, but currently we have Metamask, so we'll go with that. So connect. You are connecting Metamask to this particular site. You're confirming. Like, this is a way in which you usually sign into most of the Web3 ecosystem. You connect your Metamask, you sign a message. You can see this is the message that you are going to sign. So in Ethereum ecosystem, this is where I want to talk a little bit more about the address itself. So in the Ethereum ecosystem, what we do is that we have the seed phrase, right? We have the seed phrase. And from that seed phrase, you generate a private key. So this is a private key, public key ecosystem where you can use, like, private key, public key is basically used to sign, private key is used to sign a data, ensuring that you are the owner, or like you can encrypt data using the private. Anyway, you generate private keys, like maybe private key 1. You can generate infinite amount. It doesn't really matter how many private key you want. But anyway, you generate a private key, and From that private key in Ethereum, you have a digital signature algorithm. Like there are multiple digital signature algorithms. Use ECDSA to generate a public key, and then you take the hash of the public key and take the first port that for doing transaction. Whenever you are sending a transaction, you will authorize that transaction using this private key. So this is how we generate in MetaMask. Okay, so I just mentioned it. So whenever you are logging into an ecosystem, you will use that private key to sign a message, and next time when you come back, they already stored that signed like output. Okay, they will ask you to re-sign the message and compare the outputs, and then if it is correct, they will let you in. Confirm. Yeah, so you can skip this. So here you can see there is a unique humanity score. Great, right? So, and to increase your score, you have to perform following stamps. So you can connect your Ethereum network address, but it should have balance or like previous activity on the Ethereum ecosystem. Otherwise, it won't count. But the best way is if you're a developer, basically, you can connect your GitHub account. And if you have like contributions, distinct contributions on 30 days, like say if you're going to GitHub account, like say this one, github.com/NMAR. Right. So this is my account. So this is my contribution chart throughout the year. Okay. And just make sure that you have this contribution, distinct contribution for 30 days. Then if you have 30 days, you get 2 points. That's enough for you because it's only requiring you to have 2. And this like, but if you have more, then you'll get around like 7. So that's more than enough to get enough points for you. Or you can, if you're okay with like with connecting LinkedIn, Google, or Discord, you will get the same also. Yeah, so basically once you have that, you can come here, paste your address, and then just say start mining, which is going to take some time. Let's see if I am, I think I have verified one. Let me just pick that up. Yeah. Okay, so this address, I can show that one over here also, like Bitcoin passport. Yeah, this is one. So this is one of the main accounts where I have actually connected with Metamask and also linked to my GitHub repository. So this is the process of resigning. Yeah, so my humanity score, yeah, it's 4. So basically over here, I have verified my GitHub account. That's why I have 4. Yeah, okay. So there's a question regarding the address. So let me just say that again. So we have the seed phrase, right? Seed phrase. So secret recovery phrase. Let's call it seed phrase for short. And from that seed phrase, you create a random 32-byte value, and we call it private key. And from that private key, we use something called ECDSA algorithm, elliptical digital signature algorithm. Using that, we generate a public key. Okay, we generate a public key, and from there, we are going to take the hash. We are going to use a SHA-256 variant called KEKAK. I think I don't know if yeah, KEKAK. I think that's the correct spelling. KEKAK 256. And using that, you take the hash, and from that hash, you take the 20 bytes, first 20 bytes. That is around, yeah, I think, yeah, 20 bytes, and you get the address. And you can repeat this any number of times. You will derive this random value from the seed phrase. They have algorithms for that. And then you can do that any number of time, and you will get a new one. So private key 2, ECDSA, public key 2, and address 2. And yeah, so basically I don't really Yeah. So this is how the process, like in MetaMask, we have multiple ones, right? So this is how they are generated. So you have your seed phrase. From there, you generate your private key. From there, using the algorithm ECDSA, you generate your public key. From there, you take the hash to the address. Yeah. So that's basically how the private key and public key works. And the private key, whenever you are doing a transaction or whenever you are interacting with a Web3 site, you use the private key to sign a message or sign the transaction to confirm that you are in fact sending the transaction and you are in fact like bearing the cost of that particular transaction. Okay. So as I was telling that this is my active one, and if I use this address, let's say this address, and I have around 2 over here. So if I use this address on Sapoli faucet, paste the address, say I am human, that's a captcha. Okay, it's not. Yeah. Okay. Okay. What is this? Okay, I don't think even human can know that. Once you start mining, what is going to happen is that it's going to just simply use a simple proof of work algorithm. It's not. Yeah, so I think I already have. Yeah, it's the reason is that I already have. I don't have minimum password code, but okay, I copied the wrong address. It's not this one. This is the first address. This is the one I registered actually. So just copy this. Yeah, okay. So let's paste over here. I'm after robot again, and I need to pick cars. Is this a car? Yeah, it's a car. Start mining. Yeah. So now what is it is doing in your browser? This is happening on a computer. It's going to do a simple proof of work calculation. That means it's going to find hashes and hashes. And based on that, it's going to give you a reward. So you can see average reward. So up to 2.5 Sapoli ETH you can claim. And this is going to take around 3, like based on our computer's capability, this is going to take a long time. So that's why I'm asking you not to do this right now. Whenever you are like going for sleep or something like that, just put it on for 3 hours or something like that, and you'll get the 2.5 Sapoli ETH. So I'm not going to do this right now. I'm going to stop. I'm just demonstrating you that this is how you can do this. Okay, so these are the various ways in which you can obtain Sapoli ETH, and basically that's it. So as you have seen, I didn't really get one. So what I'm going to show you is that I have either over here, right? So here in my Sapoli ETH, I already have some either. So I'll just close the unnecessary ones. Yeah, already have either. So what I can do is that I can transfer from this wallet to my other wallet. So I'll just go over there with the MetaMask. I'll copy my address and come over here and let's say MetaMask. So this is how you send a transaction. I'll go to the expanded version because it's more comfortable for me. Yeah. So here I have Poly 1.9 Sapoli is there. So I'm going to send around 0.5 to my other account. So let's say click on send. And here from this account. So from that to the other account, which I copied. And say how many Sapolias? I'm going to say 0.5, sorry, 0.5 and continue. So it's asking, yeah. So this is where our, like whenever you're doing any change on the ecosystem, I'm writing a transaction, right? So this is I'm going to send my 0.5 Ether to the other account. And this is the cost for that particular transaction. 0.0005 Ether has to be spent for sending this much amount. It's like you have a bank transfer. Like in the older days, you have bank transaction, you have to pay minimal fee, right? Or something like that. It's there now also, but it's kind of the same mechanism. So I'll confirm that it's in the pending status. We can also see this in something called Etherscan. Etherscan is a block explorer that is used to see the data in the blockchain. So if you click on this, view on block explorer, it will redirect us to sepolia.etherscan.io. We have Etherscan for Gorley, Holsky, all the test networks and main network is there. So here currently Etherscan is indexing that transaction. So seems like it's taking, yeah, our transaction is confirmed. If I'll come look over here, I have 0.5, right? That's how you send a transaction to, that can be to another your one of your another account or to another. Yeah. Anyway, yes. So just I hope everyone has a faucet right now. If you don't have, let me know. I'll send you some small amount. So that's the entire thing about MetaMask, and you have the identity now, like this one. You have we have the identity now, and we have some amount to spend for doing some program. So that's what we are going to do next. If you have any doubts, please ask. Okay. Now we have enough things to work with for program our blockchain, like program how we can store the data. So what I'm going to do is that I'm going to simply store a string value and then retrieve it. So that's what we are going to do next. And to do the programming, we are going to use an IDE. IDE is an integrated development environment, which allows to code the program, compile the program, and store it onto the blockchain ecosystem. Okay. So to go there, let's open up Remix ID. So search on Google Remix ID and this one, remix.ethereum.org. Accept. So yeah, it's basically this is a small survey. You can go with anything. So I'll just paste that in the chat. Yeah. So Krishna, once we have done with this programming, you can ask the question related to the app development. Okay. So I have put the link in the chat, or you can search for Remix ID. You'll get this. So this is the place where we can program our code. Okay. So programming in Solidity, it's a big subject, but what I'm going to do is that I'm going to show you the code for storing a symbol data, like my name or anything. That can, it's a string type data. You can store a string type data and retrieve that. That's basically what we are going to do today. So you can create a new file. So this is the option, create new file, click on that. So on the left side, you have File Explorer. So there you have the option, create new file. And then you enter the file name. Let's call it storage. Let's call it store data. That's more thing. .sol. Sol is the extension for the smart contract language called Solidity, and that's the language we are going to use to write programs on Ethereum blockchain. Okay, so either you can provide the extension, or like you can just simply enter and it will add the extension for us. Okay, once again, I'll just click on this delete to delete it. So click on create new file. So let's call it data store or store data, whatever you want, and press enter. And now we have this particular application, right? So unlike other programs, when you're writing the Solidity program, you have to specify the version of the Solidity that you are going to use, and also the license under which the program is. We have license means like your own company license, or like your own custom license, or you have open source license. Like if you are providing your code as an open source code, you have license like that. So MIT is one of the most used ones, so we'll use that. And to start with that, all those things, because in the beginning you have to write a long sentence to specify your license and your version. We have a short way of writing that. So type pragma, prag pragma, P-R-A-G-M-A, pragma. Let's zoom it a little bit and select this option. Okay, like when you this has a like this, just like any other ID, it has IntelliSense. So you say pragma and select this one. It will automatically populate these guys. So this one, we have to write it. If you don't write it, it is going to give us a 1. Okay, whenever you are writing programs, you'll get 1. And the version of the Solidity. So for now, I think I'll use 0.8.25. It's basically the major version, minor version, and patch. Okay, that's how we go with this things. You have the major version, like the release versions. You have the minor versions, and you have the patch. That's what 0.8.25 means. Yeah, sorry about that. Once you have written that, when you are storing data or reading data, we need to write functions and we need to have variables for storing the data. So both of things, all these things will be declared inside something called a contract, or it's a grouping kind of things. It's just like if you are familiar with the Java or like C++, it's a class construct that we call it smart contract. So you'll use the keyword contract and just give name of the contract. So the file name and the contract name doesn't need to be the same, but as a best practice, it's always better to provide the same one. Data store. Yeah. So pragma Solidity is used to specify the version of the Solidity we are using. There are multiple versions, like Solidity started from 0.1 and currently it's up to 0.8.27 or 2.8. So you have to specify which version you are using, and pragma Solidity is used to specify that particular version. Okay. So the next thing, you need to create a variable. So my aim is to store a string value. So I'm going to store a string value. So for that, I'm going to use string and the name of the variable. Let's call it data, right? We're going to say some data. So you can provide it with the default value or initial value by using the assignment operator. Say, everyone start with the hello world program, right? So hello world. Right. You end it with a semicolon. Then we need to read the data and write, like read the value of the data and write value to the data. Okay. For that, we'll use a function. So to start with, you use the keyword function. Name of the function, let's call it store data. And parameter, you have to pass in the values which will be sent from the front end or like your interface to the smart contract. So I'm going to say string and memory. That's a syntax. You're going to use work with the dynamic variable. Dynamic variable means this the value, like how many data location need to store this particular variable will be allocated at the time of running this program. So that's why we call it dynamic variables. So dynamic data types, and those dynamic data types needs to be tagged with the memory keyword. It's not important. I'm just saying. Anyway, memory, and you need to provide a name to the input parameter of the function. Usually the best practice what I do is that I say underscore data. So now I know this is going to be stored in this particular one. So that's kind of like a good practice you can follow. Then who can access this particular function? Like an external person needs to access, like we all need to access it. So we are going to say public. This is an access modifier. You can learn more about that like in, yeah, I'll give you the reference point on how you can learn Solidity program. But for now, you have to say this. And inside that, you'll use the keyword return. Yeah, actually, I have to specify. I am storing, not storing. So inside that, you'll use the keyword data. That's the name of our variable. It's not a keyword, the variable name, and equal to the input parameter of function. Now, what happened is that you simply store the value that you received via this function to the data. So now we have a function to store it. So you start with the function keyword. name of the function, input parameters, and then visibility, and then you say whatever you want to do inside the function. Here, I want to store the data. So I'll say variable data equal to input parameter underscore data. The next one is I want to retrieve the data. So I'll call it function get data. And there is no input parameter because I'm just retrieving the data from this one. But there's an output parameter. So we can say the output parameter using the keyword returns. And within the bracket, what is the data type of the output parameter? So ours is a string. So we'll call it string memory. And again, public, enter. So there we'll use the keyword return. So here it is returns for specifying the output parameters is returns. For returning the value, you say return and the whichever variable value you want to return, the name of that variable. So that's the simplest explanation. So simplest program, not explanation, simplest program. For writing a string value, we already provided the default value because at the time of once you have stored it to the blockchain, we want to check if it is actually stored correctly. And you have the option to store data and get data. Okay. So the next process is we want to compile this program. So before that, I'll give you this program for you to paste on your code. So paste it. Great. So it's a small program. So it's there in the chat. Sorry, it's there in the chat. So I'll just say it once again. In the beginning, we specify under which license our program is, MIT license. That's common used to public open source license. The next one is the version of the Solidity you are using. Then you enclose all the functions and data values inside contract, and you declare a variable for storing data. It's a string type. You have a function for storing the data and retrieving the data. Yeah, so just take 1 minute and complete the code, or you copy paste it from the chat. Okay, so everyone has this. So on the left side, there are some icons, right? So we are going to use the important ones. So over here, there is something called Solidity compiler. So on the left side, we have the file explorer. That's this one. Next, the one we will need is Solidity compiler. So click on that. There you can see there are different versions of compiler available. So our version is 0.8.25. Select that. It's loading. Okay, loaded. So first go to Solidity compiler, then under compiler, select the version that we used, 0.8.25. You can use up to 2.8, or like this is the starting version and this is the current latest version. Anyway, we'll use the 0.8.25 because it's the latest version is always some kind of bugs will be there. So it's always version used to best to use something down the line. But it's okay to use this one also because most of the time you don't really find bugs. Anyway, next thing is we compile the contract. So if you click on this one, you can see compile data store.source. So whichever file I'm selected over here, it will compile it. And if it has any error, it will show. Let's compile it. Yeah, okay, sorry. The public was supposed to be here. Yeah, So that's one of the error. Like you see, like the public is not after returns. It was supposed to be here. So that's an error. We picked it up, and I'll just correct it. And it's also showing me one more warning. It's not an error. It's a warning. So if I compile again, it's a warning. It's compiled successfully, but it's showing a warning. So the warning means this is a read function. And if you're using a read function and it's not really writing anything into the blockchain, it's not going to cost you anything. But in case Solidity doesn't know that, right? We need to say that this is a read function using the keyword view. So if you say view, if it is a function is a view, that means it is only reading from the blockchain and it is not going to cost any ether. So once you compile it again, now there is no warning and you can see the tick symbol over here. That means you compiled it successfully and there is no error. So I'll just give you the error-free code once again. So our errors was the public was in the wrong place. Yeah, so compile. So you can see it will show the error over here also. Anyway, public was in the wrong place and I forgot to say view because that means this function is only reading from the blockchain, not writing onto that. So it is not going to cost you any gas. These indications, this is you can ignore them. That's like it has errors. That's why it is saying infinite gas or infinite cost. Okay, so now we have compiled contract. So we created a contract. We wrote our ideas or like our logic. Then we compiled it and we have an error-free, synthetically error-free code. And next thing we need to make sure is that we need to make sure if this is working correctly. Okay. So we'll move on to the next tab, the deploy and run transaction tab. So this is where we test out our code first. So before deploying even to the test network, we are connected to Sepolia test network via Metamask. But before deploying to that one, what I'm going to do is that I'm going to use the remix ID's simulation of an Ethereum network and deploy onto that. So this is the simulation remix ID VM concurrent. That's the latest thing. And it has provided us with already 10 accounts identities with 100 either pre-funded. So I can use it to test it out. So just make sure that you have selected remix ID VM and the account you have selected one and make sure that there is either displayed. Sometimes if the remix ID is an online ID, right? If it is not loaded correctly, it might not show these things. And these things you can ignore right now. Make sure that you have selected the contract. Yeah, there's only one contract, so it will be the selected one and click on deploy. So remix ID, account, click on deploy. And if you go down, you can see the deployed contract and the functions that we can access from within. So let me just show that once again. So you see, this is when you deploy the contract, we can see an address for that. So there are two types of address in the ecosystem. The contract address, that's a pointer to the deployed contract address because there are a lot of contracts deployed onto the Ethereum ecosystem, right? How do we know which one to call? So this is the pointer that we can use to call that. And then there is an externally owned account, which is our account, like this account. This account is an externally owned account. We call it EOA, externally owned account. That means it's an account used by a user. And this is an account of the contract. We call both of them account. And this one is used to point to the particular contract code in deploying the Ethereum ecosystem. Okay, so just note this one because I'm going to redeploy this and this is going to change. So let's say this is the one and I am going to deploy this again. So you select the remix VM, this one, and deploy again. And you can see this is deployed again. And this time that's a different account. Yes. So once you have this is the interface that remix ID provides us with the interact with all these accounts or all these functions. So let's try interacting. So we'll get the default value. Okay. If I click on get data, if you click here, click on that button to execute that particular function, I should get this value. Okay, let's click and yeah, I got it. Hello there. Now I want to change something. So this is a test environment, so we are not really going to lose anything or anything like that. When we are moving on to Sepolia, I'll show you the difference between read and write operations. Okay, anyway, Yes, we are going to deploy it to the test network, and we can see that out. Yeah, so let's deploy this store, and I can get the data. So that's how we do it on the test ecosystem. Now we are moving on to the real blockchain, which is the Sepolia blockchain. This one. This is the same for mainnet, because I'm not doing it on mainnet because I don't really have balance over there. The procedure is same, everything is same. The only difference is that you need to have balance on mainnet. So now we are going to deploy this onto the Sepolia test network. Okay, so the procedure is same, but this time we have to connect Remix ID to Metamask. Okay, so we need to deploy this contract onto the Sepolia test network. For that, we need to connect Remix ID to Metamask. To do that, we are still in the deploy and run transaction tab, right? Click on that and click on injected provider Metamask. So it will ask you to connect. And yeah, once you are connected, you can see that you are connected to Sepolia over here. You can see your like it's going to show 0 either. Yeah, it's refreshed and it is showing 0.5 either. And we can also see the connection over here. See, click on that and you can see we are connected to this particular site, remix.ethereum.org. You can edit it, and if you unclick it, you can disconnect. But anyway, that's how you connect and disconnect, or you have the option to disconnect over here also. So once you are connected, Remix ID is able to access the account and details regarding that, such as the account address and the ether balance of that particular thing. And we are connected to Sepolia. And this number is the unique ID of each network. Ethereum network has one, Sepolia has this particular number, 111 Okay, so now again click data store. So this time we are going to deploy this via Metamask onto the test network, right? So if I click on deploy, Metamask is going to pop up. And this is the current piece. I need to deploy it. Okay, I need to deploy it and confirm. And we are waiting for that to happen. We can also see this transaction on the block explorer. Okay, so it got confirmed. We can see that on the block explorer. Yeah, it's okay, due to some reason today the block explorer for Sepolia is a bit slow. We'll come back to that later. Okay, so it's deployed onto the network. You can see that. Now we can read the data. Let's see that this is there, like just like we have seen for the test simulation, it's there. We can get the data. So when you click the get data, Metamask won't pop up because it's a read operation and it will read the data. But if I want to write something, say hello Cosita or hello KBA, say store data. This time Metamask is going to ask you for confirmation because this is going to cost you, and this is the amount you have to pay. This is going to cost you, and that's why there's a confirmation, and that's how the write operation differs from the read operation. Okay. So that's how you can access or like interact with the ecosystem. I can again, like I wrote this, right? I can again get the data, and now the new data is this. So that's how you write something onto the ecosystem, read it from there, and you can also see the transactions over here. See, it succeeded. You can also see the right transaction we did, view transaction on blockchain. And if you scroll down, click on more details, and record the input data. You can see that I wrote a hello CVKB. So it's there. It's there for everyone to see. Anyone can audit it and anyone can verify what happened on the chain. That's the public blockchain known as Ethereum. So that's basically it for coding up. You guys can try it out. In the meantime, you can ask any doubts. I think someone asked that someone wanted to ask a doubt about DApp. Yeah, Krishna, I think. Yeah, Krishna. Okay, please ask your doubt. Okay, so just put it in the chat, and I'll yes, please ask it, please. You can either put it in the chat or you can unmute and ask. Oh yeah, so if you go to Ethereum Explorer, sorry, suppose like you need to get that transaction. Like there was a question, what was it again? Yeah, how do you see the string type data stored in the Ethereum Explorer? So basically, you need to find the transaction you have done. This is the transaction. This is the transaction that I done. Store data. So I click on that. I click on View on Block Explorer, and it will redirect me to Block Explorer. And you can click on Show More. So this one is there because Ethers can detect a similar contract, and that's why they provide this input this particular option. But usually, what you can do is that you input as UTF-8, and you can see that particular thing stored out. Yeah. Okay. So can someone unmute Krishna? Can I do that? Let's check.
Hello, am I audible, sir?
Yes. Yes. Yes.
So I do have one question. I
Mhm.
was recently working on the certificate validation project.
Mhm.
I am beginner in this, so I am getting problem for uploading this Solidity contract on main blockchain. Like I was working on maybe Ethereum. Okay,
Mhm.
so I have to use Hardhat in it. I don't know how to use Hardhat while developing this blockchain. I have coded with Solidity
Okay.
the contract which I want to use.
Mhm.
So the problem is I don't know how to use Hardhat and upload it on blockchain and how to re-access it on my application.
Basically, that particular thing is beyond the scope of this session. But what I can do is we have some self-paced course on learn.kb, and also there's a free course. Like you don't need to pay anything. We, as part of our like community reach outreach programs, Ethereum for Everyone program, we have developed a very simple course for you, and I will show you the particular videos. It's a 5 to 6 minutes videos that you just need to go through. I'll show you those videos that you can get. So this is the course you can follow. Like all the things are there, and the thing that you asked is under the DApp development with the Hardhat. You can go there working with Hardhat, and just either you can go through the all these things which will let you know, or you can watch this very simple video. I think it's around it's around 5 minutes, and you can like solve all the errors. Or even after you have issues, what you can do is that you can communicate with me on Telegram. I'll share you the share with you guys my Telegram ID, which you can use. Yeah, yes, sure. Like 1 second. So this is a wiki. I'll provide you with a link. You can go to each page and it will have that particular video. Also, you can go to our YouTube link. Let's say. And also, like everything we covered today also is there as short form. So I'm just giving you these videos because it's not going to be covered in this session. Let's say in Kerala Blockchain Academy playlist, there's something called Ethereum developer program. So everything we done was yeah. Yeah, I'm using AdSense and YouTube is not going to let me do that. Let me just take the other one. Yeah, so I'm not going to play this, but I'll show you which ones you need to look into for the Hardhat. I'll also share this list with you. So that's the playlist, and this particular thing is there. And we also have many other courses. If you are interested, you can check it out here also.
So, why did I choose the certificate validation project, right? You have that project done, right? On your I think so company's website, right? So I have seen that. I don't know how to do it, right? I am using React for this front end, and I'm using AI to do it, like the Bolt AI and or this another AI V0, right? I'm using it
Yes,
for
yes.
the front end, so I
Yeah, that's
don't have
okay
to
because
work on.
yeah, this one actually writes you through a very simple certificate issuance application. You just need to follow this, and the client is written in React also. You can see all the things that this is where like you can yeah, this is where you build a smart contract for certificate issuance, and this is where you have the Hardhat part for deploying into the blockchain, and this is where basically where you build your API and client in React and Node.js, and this is where you will see the code for deploying it into the Sepolia ecosystem. These are completely free. You can refer to that. And if you have any doubts, you can ping me in the Telegram also.
So, can I get full guidance for the Hardhat or Solidity? Do you have any courses on YouTube for that to learn
Yeah,
Hardhat from scratch?
yeah, this one, like this, these are the videos for that. You can just learn that from here, actually. This is the, yeah, this is the Hardhat part one and part two. It's a very simple like subject. That's why we have around one, two, and three videos on that. You can just watch these EDP 18, EDP 13, EDP 14, and EDP 18, and you'll know how you can deploy, like write a contract, deploy that onto the ecosystem. If you want to know more about Solidity development, you can use watch videos till EDP
Sir, I am
062.
asking. I am asking the detail course on it. This is for the example, right? This is showed one of
No,
project.
this is a detailed course, and we are using the certificate issuance as a use case for teaching this course. That's the only.
Okay, so you are what I want. You have make that project,
Yes,
right?
yes, exactly. Whatever you want, like you want a certificate issuance system, right? And that is being built. Like there is no very great UI. It's a simple UI, but that's being built on this particular course actually. So you can go through this course, especially the ones I have mentioned, and you will be able to build a very simple certificate issuance application that is written on.
One more thing. I am not
Yes.
making this for my own certificate
Mm-hmm.
validation system. I am making this for one company. I am doing internship in it, but I don't have
Uh-huh.
mentor, right?
Okay.
I don't have anyone to teach me, and I am
Mm-hmm.
very much beginner right now. So can you
Okay.
be a mentor, or can you provide me one person like a mentor? So I do have
Uh,
any of questions I can ask him.
Yes, we do have a blockchain internship program. What you do is that it's called blockchain internship program. You can just simply send a email to the Kerala Blockchain Academy. I'll put that in the chat. I think it's KB. 1 second. And yeah, so it's kbadmin.duk.ac.in. Let me just put that in the chat. And yeah, just send your requirement that you need a mentor, and like we'll connect with the correct people, and you can like start working with the KPIs.
Okay. And one more thing.
Yes.
So you have one certification on blockchain development, right? Blockchain developer
Yes.
program.
Uh-huh.
So anyone of beginner have done that certification. Can he
Yes,
be identified any company? Like any new company can identify that certificate and we will get
yes, yes, yes.
beginner
It's an
job.
industry recognized certificate actually.
Can you give me some of the names that industry is getting the blockchain like students?
Yeah, I think Track Genesis is one of the company we have currently in the marketplace. Track Genesis is one of the company we have tied up with. Then there is Alliance, Data Galaxy, Accubits. All these people are recruiting from the blockchain space actually.
You have any partnership with these companies? You can
Yeah,
give
we
us
have
the
an
job
internal
offer.
it's not an open partnership, but we have internal partnership with KB has partnership with all these companies. Actually. I think
Like
it's
when I
like
completed your course or anyone completed your course, right? The
yeah,
certification course. So can you provide
yes.
us the remote remote giving job, right?
Yeah, we provide referrals for the companies, and we have a job portal. I think you can apply the you can for specifically for KBA students, we have a job portal which lists all the job requirements that are given to us. We also personally sent you some specific job portals over there.
And the internship program is free or you do have charge for it?
I think it's yeah, it's paid actually. Sorry, yeah, it's paid. You can get the details over there. Yeah, you just send the mail to the email ID we have sent. You can get the details regarding
Okay, okay. Thank you, sir.
that. Okay.
And shall we continue?
Yes. So finally, yeah, so that's basically developing on this ecosystem. Finally, I want to just wind up the session by talking about the various job opportunities in this role. So let me just, oh, okay, sorry, one second. Yeah, I think I stopped the streaming. Yeah, okay. So those are the things. Yeah, let me just revise what we have been into. So we know the identity. We learn the smart contract development. We use Remix ID, and there are other framework like Hardhat that I talked about. And the Solidity language is what we used to build our smart contract. Then for user interface, you can use React or any other like React mobile application, React Native or Android or anything. And along with that, you will have a library that will give you access to the blockchain or communicate with the smart contracts on that. And then there will also you need to have the identity management system like Metamask or an internal identity management system that you can build yourself. And via that, you connect to the Ethereum blockchain and then you build your application. So that's basically the tech stack. And the career paths are basically like on the left side, we have the like kind of like a beginner to intermediate career paths. One is full stack web developer. Like if you already know full stack web development, there's a huge requirement for you in the space. Like full stack means you know how to build UI in React or Angular. You know how to build a backend in Next.js, Express.js, or something like that, Node.js, and you know how to connect with the database, maybe Postgres or MongoDB. There are various stack, merit stack, min stack. There are various full stack ecosystems, but in full stack, you means you need to know how to build UI, backend service, and communicate with the database. So if you already know that, and you can add on blockchain knowledge to that, full stack developers are very much needed in the Web3 ecosystem. Then specific backend developer, you are only going to develop backend. Sometimes you'll develop contract, but API services or REST API, all those things, that is what you are going to develop on the backend ecosystem. And then you have smart contract developer, those who specialize only in developing in Solidity and all those things. Those is much more required in the broad areas because in India, primary ones that they're looking to use full stack developers, those who know to do everything. Smart contract developers are primarily in demand in the abroad countries, not other countries. Then you have security auditor, like when I said in steps, right? You have yeah. So yeah, I'll share my GitHub IDs also. Anyway, yeah, I'll share it after this is done. Anyway, the security auditor is basically the one who checks if the smart contract has any issues and finds out those issues and provide reports based on that. The thing is that I said it is difficult because you have to learn the entire smart contract, learn about how the ecosystem works, then only you can get into this ecosystem. Then you have to work on various known vulnerabilities, know how to tackle them, know how to exploit them, know how to fix them. Then only you can start on the path of security auditor. Then obviously crypto trader, I'll talk it last, but protocol or code developer. You want to build protocols on Ethereum, like transaction, peer-to-peer message propagation or consensus layer, or you want to build layer two or like other kind of very specific protocols. That is a very high skilled area where you need to know entirely about blockchain and you need to have an expert or intermediate to expert level of programming in languages like Go, C++, Rust, all those kind of things. Then the final one is crypto trader. Obviously, one of the big use case of blockchain is crypto, and you can become a trader on that ecosystem, but it's very risky. Blockchain is a volatile ecosystem, but you can still do that. And there are people that are doing all these jobs and earning more than basic, like more than 30 to 60 in a beginner ecosystem, or like not in a beginner ecosystem. Currently, beginner ecosystem is a little saturated, but on an intermediate, like 1 year, 2 year, people are learning more than 60 or all those kind of packages. So these are the various career paths that you can go through in this ecosystem. These are like some references. And yeah, I'll just paste those in the URL, like if you want these URLs. These are some references, like these are some Web3 careers locations. Like if you're interested in the Web3 career, you can go to these pages. And these are further reference for you to like what's next. If you want to learn more onto the ecosystem. So this is a job portal and this is what next. And here also, this is what next, and this is a job portal. Okay, I'll just paste all the links over here. You can go through that. Yeah, sorry, I pasted to person message. Let's say everyone. Yeah, that's one link list. And the other one. Yes, yeah. So that's basically it. Then that's like our session. If you have any doubts, you can ask. Otherwise, you can visit our links where we have multiple codes available. Also, Krishna, the code, like the code you are asking, right? Like the certificate issuance code. If you go to the developer program in codes, these are the ones that DApp client and the Hardhat. These are the places where you can find the code for building a certificate issuance application. Okay, you can either communicate with me or via KB or like in my Telegram if you have further doubts, or you can just yeah. I think someone asked for my GitHub ID. Otherwise, yeah. So that's basically my idea. So you can see the projects that I have built over there. And you can also follow us. Yeah, okay. I'll give you the LinkedIn ID also. That's a KB LinkedIn ID. 1 second, I'll just get my LinkedIn ID. So if you have any further doubts, you can either communicate KB or communicate with me, and we can like take it up to the next level. Where do I get my URL? Yeah. So that's basically it, guys. Let me know if you have any doubts. We can tend to that. Otherwise, we can wind up that session.
So, can you provide this recorded lectures on Telegram or WhatsApp channel so we can interact
Yeah,
with our?
actually we provided. Yeah, Krishan, actually we provided this recording yesterday in the WhatsApp group. Have you joined that group?
Yeah, I've joined the group, but I didn't get that. I will check it again.
Yeah, you can check it once. Otherwise, I will share that link here as well.
Yeah. So thanks everyone. Thanks Cosvita.
We didn't get that.
Just like yeah. Okay. Okay. So I think I Cosvita will provide you the link again. So you can just check it again after the session. You'll get the link. Yeah. If you don't have any other doubts, we can wind up the session.
So can I contact you on Telegram for this
Yeah.
any of
Yes, I have.
ना दुकान डाल देता है दुकान कौन सी इलेक्ट्रिकल
Yeah.
वो
Just,
बीच में टाइफाइड हो गया था अभी अभी एक पनर इससे अच्छा लग रहा है तबीयत
Yeah. So thanks again, Adrian, and once again, thank you, Cosvita, for offering this opportunity to collaborate with you and take this wonderful session. I hope it was wonderful, everyone. Also, so thank you, Cosvita, and thanks everyone for coming to this session. And yeah, let us know. There's like Cosvita has provided with a feedback form. Please fill that and let us know if you want to communicate with us again, or like you want to sessions like this. So thank you, everyone, and thank you, Cosvita. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Anantan, for your valuable sessions. Yeah, guys, I shared the YouTube recording, that recordings playlist in the chat box. Yesterday recording was uploaded in the playlist, and the today recording will be uploaded by shortly in the evening. Okay. If anybody missed out to watch the recording, you can check on that playlist. Okay. And please give your valuable feedback for the past 2 days sessions. I shared the link in the chat box as well. I'm going to share again in the chat box. Yeah, Anandan, can you share this 2 days material over the email?
Yeah, I'll ask Sumi to do that.
Okay, thank you, Anandan.
Okay.
Yeah. If anybody have any doubts, you can go ahead and ask. Like I given the unmute option for everyone. No problem, Mustafa. Like we are taking the track via Zoom also. There is no need to worry about the attendance. I hope everyone cleared. So we can wrap up the session for today, Ananta.
Yeah. Thank you, guys. Yeah, once again, check out Cosvita, check out KBA, and thanks for everyone. Bye.
Bye. Thank you, Ananta. Thank you, team.
Bye.
Bye.